Thank you so much for coming to our webinar, Building Data Quality and Observability into the Snowflake Data Cloud. I'm Carolyn Fernald. I'm the Marketing Director at Passerelle. And today we're going to look at two tools. We're going to look at Snowflake Watch and Data Quality Watch. And just as a little bit of housekeeping, we had originally intended to showcase our governed dynamic ingestion engine today, but as we built out the demos for our newest features, we realized we weren't going to have enough time to get to all three. So if you'd like to schedule a separate demo for governed dynamic ingestion, you can send me a message in the chat and I'll set that up for you. The tools we're going to look at today, Snowflake Watch and Data Quality Watch, can help organizations build data quality and observability into their Snowflake Data Cloud. Why is this important? Being able to trust your data is an essential component of cloud data management. When organizations make the move to the cloud, they aren't doing it to maintain the status quo. They want to be able to get data faster from any system, and they want to build on that investment. When data isn't trusted, it can create a negative feedback loop. Data isn't used and data decision-making is deprioritized. But the opposite can also be true. When stakeholders trust data, they become champions of data decision-making. More stakeholders use data, keeping it fresh and driving new business use cases. The foundation of a positive data culture is data quality. So these features that we're going to talk about today are our newest features in DataRocket. DataRocket is our end-to-end solution to help organizations assemble data from any source into the Snowflake Data Cloud. DataRocket is a flexible framework deployed in diverse sectors, including manufacturing, energy, higher education, financial services, and state government. With Talon's data health strategy at its core, DataRocket assembles and builds trust with governed dynamic ingestion, an audit and control framework, and our new Data Quality Watch. Once trusted, DataRocket helps enrich data with a productionized ML engine and integrated third-party data applications. Finally, DataRocket provides pre-configured dashboards in Power BI or Tableau for visual analytics and established connections with leading marketing and AI providers. With all of that being said, I'd like to introduce Sarah Davis, a senior analytics consultant at Passerelle, and Maruthi Govindappa, Passerelle's Director of Enterprise Data Strategy and Solutions. Sarah, let's start with you. Today, you are going to be demoing DataRocket Snowflake Watch dashboards, which provide clear visibility into Snowflake usage and trends. Why is it important to have observability into the Snowflake Data Cloud?
Thanks, Carolyn, for the introduction. Well, when our customers implement Snowflake, frequently requested data points are cost and usage. Snowflake uniquely charges for compute resources with a virtual warehouse, credit hour, t-shirt size model, giving its customers the ability to adjust performance and cost much differently than the typical charge by the hour model. We want our customers to be able to see their usage and spend from the start so they can visualize and plan based on metrics in their environment. We've seen customers that didn't want to move past an extra small warehouse in the beginning, afraid they would run out of credits quickly, not yet used to the t-shirt model. On the flip side, if a customer wants to turn it up to 11 with an extra large warehouse, with Snowflake Watch, they can then visually see if it's the right choice of what they're trying to accomplish, and then the spend that goes along with it. Snowflake Watch also allows our customers to govern their environment through a series of dashboards. From warehouse usage and costs to security roles and query performance, we can get actionable insights on our evolving data cloud. Through the clear visibility provided by pairing Passerelle's Snowflake Watch with the rich metadata that Snowflake natively provides, we can assist with finding the right balance to deploy the data cloud effectively and efficiently.
Thanks, Sarah. So now we're going to see the demo in action. Sarah has put together a pre-recorded demo, but please put any questions you have in the chat window, and we'll be sure to get to them at the end of the presentation.
Today, I'm going to walk you through Passerelle's Snowflake Watch. Snowflake Watch was created to build visibility into the data. We can quickly understand the cost associated with usage of data, how data is consumed and queried, and our security environment. As part of DataRocket, Snowflake Watch provides dashboards for warehouse usage, query performance and details, security setup and details, and database stats. With Snowflake Watch, Snowflake managers can quickly gauge key volumetric stats with customizable visual dashboards and drill down to the query and user level for deeper insights. We'll begin with the warehouse usage dashboard. This dashboard is comprised of metrics that help us understand the correlation between warehouse time, compute credits, cloud service credits, and costs. This can be used to understand credit burn and to plan for budget allocation by providing a clear picture of usage and a way to monitor and optimize usage. The metered cost provides a cumulative cost across the time period selected, as well as the total cost for each day. The daily cost enables us to see daily usage patterns to identify warehouse usage anomalies or outliers so we can reduce unnecessary spend. We can also identify days when utilization is lower or higher to help adjust and optimize warehouse sizing. Below, we can see the distribution of compute credits versus cloud credits, and next to this, the cost, total credits, cloud service credits, and compute credits by warehouse, and the start time and end time. The filters provide options to customize the time period, the warehouse, and the discount. For example, let's look at the use over the last year for the consume warehouse with a discount of 5%. Each metric is now filtered to only include the consume warehouse's data with a discount of 5%. We assume the cost of $2 per credit hour for our dashboard. However, this parameter can be changed to the actual dollar amount for your Snowflake account upon dashboard installation. Now that we have filtered our data to only see the consume warehouse's data, we can drill down even further by clicking on a day in our metered cost view. We now see the usage for the consume warehouse for the day of February 1st. Notice that the consume warehouse is broken out by each run with the start time, the end time, the cost, total credits, cloud service credits, and compute credits. Query performance set of dashboards provides key insights into the queries that are processed by Snowflake, as well as usage tracking across users for usage adoption and usage trends. The first query performance view is a summary view with adjustable filters that allow for exploration into queries by execution status, query type, warehouse size, warehouse, database, and user. For the last year, our database has processed 81,000 queries over 3,000 minutes with 12 warehouses using 15 cores. With a core runtime of almost 2,000 minutes, the processing comes out to approximately $385 in estimated cost based on query elapsed time. We then have our main metrics broken down by the month for number of queries, elapsed time, estimated cost, and then by execution status, by warehouse size, number of queries by warehouse, queries by database, queries by query type, and then queries by user. The filters allow us to drill down deeper into our queries to answer specific questions about our query data. For example, we want to mitigate failed insert statements and need to evaluate which queries are the problem. To do this, we change our execution status to failed and query type to insert. From here, we can see the metrics have all filtered to our specifications. If we want to view the failed insert query details, we can then move to the query details view. The query details view persists the filters from our summary view. We now see the individual query IDs of the failed insert statements for the last year. This view allows us to review the details and statistics for the overall query, including the elapsed runtime, the error message, and the user that ran the query. The database stats dashboard provides insight to answer critical questions such as how storage is growing over time, the quantity of database objects over time, and how your data is being used across the organization. Let's now review the database stats dashboard. This dashboard provides insight into our Snowflake databases with customized timeframes and the ability to drill down by database size and database owner. Let's take a quick look at the account level summary of our database usage and storage. We have the number of databases, the database size, and fail-safe size. In this view, we can tell that the majority of our databases were created between 2019 and 2020, with growth leveling out from 2020 on. Below, the databases are sorted by size from largest to smallest, and then by database owner and the number of databases that are owned. If we select the graph marker in the number of databases by created view, we can then drill down to see which databases were created on this day, as well as the owners that created the databases. For example, the databases that were created on this day and the owners that created the databases. If we select an owner under databases by owner, we can see which databases are owned by the owner. If I choose Data Rocket Admin, these are the databases that this owner owns. And lastly, we will navigate to the Security Setup Dashboard. The Snowflake Security Setup Dashboard provides one place to view permissions across your organization. Users can filter by role, object type, object, or privilege. The dashboard supports accelerated design of the data security model and auditing of existing frameworks. With the Snowflake Security Dashboard, we have the ability to map Snowflake user roles to Snowflake objects such as databases, schemas, and tables, map Snowflake user roles to inherited roles, and view role and object security mapping in tabular format in the Details tab. With the object type role selected in the filter, we can quickly choose a role to investigate. We can now see that the Data Rocket admin role inherits permissions for these 5 roles. If we choose the object type schema, we can now see the privilege that the Data Rocket admin role has for these schemas. We could even go further and choose one privilege to view. And for a more in-depth look into security, the Security Detail Dashboard provides a comprehensive tabular view of the relationships. You have the object type, and we start with role, and then we have the database, and the privilege for the database, file format, function, and so on. And it goes all the way to warehouse. This concludes our demo. Thank you for joining us to review Passerelle's Snowflake Watch. We look forward to empowering your data journey to turn data into action.
Thanks, Sarah. We have a question here about implementation of Snowflake Watch. How long does it take to get Snowflake Watch up and running?
Snowflake Watch can be set up in a day, maybe 2, depending on the environment, but it's really quickly set up.
Great. Are there any more questions? I don't see it anymore, so we're going to spend about 20 minutes looking at Data Quality Watch. Ruthie, you were central to developing Data Quality Watch with Passerell's engineering team. Can you tell me how it came about and why it's important?
Yeah, sure, Caroline. Before I say how, I will start with why. To achieve a reliable, trustworthy data analytics solutions, having a quality source data is critical. As we, meaning data engineers, analytical engineers, keep saying garbage data in, garbage data out when it comes to the aspects of data warehouse. So it's important to measure the quality of data prior and treat it proactively before it is transformed into analytics and then handed over to the business. So that the business can trust, yes, what I see is the actual facts. So that's the reason you already mentioned data quality, why it's critical. So it's just emphasizes as a solution without data quality, analytics solution without data quality is not going to be effective. So before a data quality watch, and the customers who realized the importance of data quality, they are required to develop and implement a custom data validation process. Whether it's you do through ETL procedures, Python code, whatever the choice of technology, there should be effort required to develop those business data validations rules and then make it productionized. And this will take time and effort, and often it gets I would not say neglected, but kind of deprioritized because users want to see the analytics, but they don't realize without quality data, the analytics what is built is not going to be useful. So we understand this challenge as a team here in Passerell. So we thought about okay, how can we achieve using use a platform Snowflake, Talent. There is already technology platform that can help us to build an automation tool. So what we call it as Data Quality Watch, that basically automates the data quality measurement and help customers to be proactively get insights into where the data stands, where their source data stands, and then they can take in proactive actions to see what are the mitigation plans they can apply, so that they get a really good analytical platform. So in a way, data quality really eases that pain point of doing the custom development of validations rules, rather use a off-the-shelf product, configure it, and from day one start measuring your maturity of your data. So that's kind of the history behind of how data, the thought process behind why Data Quality Watch was important, and our approach towards automating and productionizing this tool.
Great, thanks. Well, again, this is a pre-recorded demo, but we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. So please let us know in the chat window or in the Q&A window if there's anything we can do to help.
In this session, I will be demoing Passerell's Data Quality Watch tool and present its functionalities to you. Data Quality Watch is a metadata-driven automation tool that programmatically profiles a specific data set, configured, and measure its current state of data quality. Quality of the data is measured with 5 focused areas: integrity, check data for its uniqueness, referential integrity, and verify if the data is aligned to its business process. Completeness, check if the data is complete. There are no partial, it's not partial or missing values. Consistency, check if the data is consistent enough, meaning, for example, check if the values of the columns are in an expected range, perform enumeration checks, pattern checks, and so on. Timeliness, having up-to-date information is critical for analytics. Data Quality Watch process checks if the data is updated in the expected frequency and doesn't have a data lag. Popularity. If you're talking about data sets, Data Quality Watch profiles its usage, meaning to measure the value of a specific data set, Data Quality Watch process scans through its the metadata of Snowflake and provide with metrics in terms of how frequently or how widely the data is used. Data Quality Watch is built using Snowflake, Talent, and then the output of the Data Quality Watch process is visualized either using a Power BI dashboard or Tableau dashboard. To operate Data Quality Watch process, the configuration has to be updated. So as an example, the user is required to specify which business, the data of which business unit, where the data is stored in terms of database, schema, tables, and so on. And also if there is a need to apply data validation using custom business rules, that input also has to be configured. The configuration data is stored within the Snowflake under the Data Rocket metadata schema. Data Quality Watch process using this configured data sets profiles the enterprise data or the source data. And also it utilizes the Snowflake metadata under the information schema to list out all the tables of a given database or the columns according to the configurations. Data Quality Watch process is smart enough, and it's really a flexible process, meaning as part of the configurations, whether a user can choose to profile the entire database, data under the entire database, or a specific schema, or a specific table sets, or a specific column. So it's really simplifies the configuration model. Don't need to explicitly specify all the columns or all the tables. Truly you can choose, as I said, either the database at a high level or go to a granular level at the column level. The Data Quality Watch process using this configuration parameter, the profile data and information schema, profiles the data sets and records the output or the results in the Snowflake metadata database as well. The data is made persistent for the trend analysis. You can, at any point of time, you could look back to the historical runs of the data quality process to understand the current state of the data at that point of time. The data once is stored is, as I said before, is visualized using the Data Quality Watch dashboard, either in Power BI or Tableau. Talent is used to orchestrate the entire Data Quality Watch process. It automates its scheduling, monitors its executions, and then gives any insights, the logs and insights required by the ITT. For this demo, let's look at a sample data set, which is Superbank. And the operational system has data related to the loan management, customer accounts, and third-party data providing the information related to the home equity line of credits, Equifax. So if I go and execute here, it's basically we are looking at around 7 tables. These tables are wide, as you see that there's like 30 plus columns. And then as a, for example, we are looking at hundreds of rows. The volume really more than 100,000 millions, depending on the configurations. Data Quality Watch will go ahead and execute in the backend process. Quick look at the configurations, what a configuration model looks for Data Quality Watch. So off the shelf, as I said, we talked about 5 focused area. In Data Quality Watch terms, we call it as dimensions. These are the dimensions we talked before. For each dimensions, there are profiling metrics associated. Example, under the completeness, we look for the metric is empty data. Basically, look if data is partials or complete, consistency, outliers, and so on. For the configuration, this is where I talked before. User would have to specify what their data is, which data Data Quality Watch needs to profile. There, as I said, you can specify just a database, and if there is no further information provided, the data quality watch process will go and profile all these schemas and all the tables and columns underneath that. If not, you could specify a specific table set. As you see here, I'm looking for the empty data. I'm looking for one specific table, loan fact, home loans, or couple of tables. This, as you see here, Equifax, for one of these configurations, we want to exclude these two tables, and then what are the columns associated to it. And then also you could also go and specify for consistency additional parameters for specifying the range of values that can be done as well. A fully configurable and a flexible model. And then once we set the profiling, the configurations for each metric, there is an anomaly definitions, meaning, okay, profile, we know the fact. For example, empty data, we know, okay, 80% of the data is non-empty. Is this good? Or you could have to say, if it is less than 80%, then it becomes an anomaly. So there is every metric, there is an anomaly associated to it. The definitions are pre-built here, which can be customized as well, meaning look at the thresholds for each of those configurations that was done previously. You could specify a range of threshold values, lower, mid, and higher range. Again, this data quality watch is powerful in this regard because you don't have to set one standard threshold across all the data set. It can be across all the data set, or you can choose for a specific configurations what the thresholds looks like. Meaning, one of the table you could expect the empty data to be at least 80%, whereas the another table you would say no, it has to be 100%, or more than 90%. So it can be made really flexible. Once the configurations are made, you could also have the flexibility for any given run. You can set if the data quality watch has to process all the configurations that has been set, or you can disable. As an example, you don't want to keep measuring the popularity of the data. For example, today's run, you could disable that configurations not to get executed. This is basically kind of use the flexibility to optimize the run in the event if required. But if you basically you can choose to keep it or disable it depending on the choice. So at the end, if you assemble all these configurations, it would look something like this. For each dimensions, what are the metrics, which data set that metrics has been configured, then if it is being enabled or disabled, and then the thresholds. As I said, this is really customizable. Again, every industries, every business unit has its own business process and it has own thresholds. So you can really go and configure in accordance to the business process. Now that we have set up the configuration, let's go and trigger the data quality watch process. To do that, you would have to go to the Talent Cloud. Under the management console, we go to the management, look at the task. So we have the data quality task specific to data quality watch. Start that, and it can be scheduled to run on the schedule. To do that, I haven't done schedule here for demo, but it's pretty straightforward. You go to edit task, add a trigger, click on the trigger, specify, for example, let's say daily. Let trigger type daily DQW. Like this, choose your time zone and so on, and repeat every day. It's kind of self-explanatory. You would have to go and specify this, and then just click save and close. Have your data quality watch to be ready to execute it on a daily trigger, as you see here. For now, okay, so it started actually. You know, since I scheduled for it, already started. If the schedule is not there, you could also go and run on demand by clicking run now. So it will take some time. I think it will take around 15 to 20 minutes because we have many columns, hundreds of columns to process. While data quality watch process is running in the background, let's look at the dashboard for the previously executed runs. So as an example, as of September 6th, the summary view provides quick insights into the state of the data for each of the focused area. So as an example, the integrity seems to be off for as of September 6th. The threshold is supposed to be 82.5%, whereas it's just 65%. Same thing with the completeness, it seems to be off. The consistency seems to be okay. The data is fresh, and then you get the average hits of the selected data as per the configurations, along with the metrics for a specific date. The summary view also gives the trend of the data for each dimensions for all periods. So as you see, the integrity of the data seems to be growing for specific days, but then decline on the September 6th. You could choose, as I said, for data quality watch provides historical view of the data quality results. So any specific day you can select to see what the data look like. You could also narrow down the insights to a specific business unit. For example, if you want to filter for loan management, filter through the application as well. And then you can also filter down to the specific data sets. We just have in the configuration one database and then one schema. Along with the summary information, the dashboard provides also the detailed level of information for each of the dimensions or focused area. As an example, if you look at the integrity, we can know here the percentage of unique value for each of the table, its trend over the period of time. And then you can drill down to more specific at the column level by going to the year, for example, here of the September 6th, if I go to loan management, and I can see the loan ID seems to have really low unique value, and it is expected to be 80%. For you could also narrow it down, as I said, by business unit, business applications. Also, you can search for a specific column level. So, for example, if I want to know the uniqueness of loan ID, and if it is present in multiple tables, you could quickly select loan ID and understand its uniqueness across the table. Similar to integrity, completeness, where we are measuring the percentage of non-empty value by table. Go and look at the column level that we did for the integrity. So if I down here, yeah. So for each of the columns, so here is a good example where data quality watch process, though we configured for a specific table, it is looking the percentage of completeness for each of the column, and then gives the measurement, the metric value at the column level. And then consistency, similar to completeness, you can look at the, so as per the configurations, we just looked at one data set for the consistency to see what percentage of the value is an outlier or not, and then you get the trend of the value. There is also quick summary for a given day if the current state, if it is it's in a good state or not in this metric as well, and some of the metrics in terms of how many rows were profiled. So we looked at completeness as well. So here it processed 68 columns for that run, and the processing of around nearly 175,000 rows of record. Same concept. You can drill down to timeliness to understand the state of the data. So here for this table, if you look at here, it seems to be it was really off. The data was not refreshed, but then the process got triggered. Now it seems to be more up to date in the current run. Popularity. So as per the configurations, we are looking these data tables that what we configured, and then for each of the table, it provides how many average hits per day. So an example of fact. Home loans table. This is the most popularly used with 212 average hits per day, and then average across. You can also drill down to see if the usage has been consistent or it is declining for a period of the time. All the configurations you could, as I said, we reviewed at the Snowflake metadata, but the dashboard also provides what has been configured. So it helps really for IT to review what has been configured. For example, if I want to go and check, okay, for integrity, what are we looking? So I can select integrity and I see that the account name table and all the tables except these two tables is being looked for integrity check, consistency check for one of the key lock tables is being configured, and so on. So that's pretty much what the data quality watch product. It's really an automation tool, unlike in a traditional approach where you would have to configure, custom develop the data validation process, the data check with using data quality watch. It's an automation tool driven. Operates using the metadata, no code required, and it really accelerates and makes proactive for IT engineer to understand the current state of the data, and if any anomalies are found, which basically affects the accuracy of the analytics, a proper proactive action can be taken to improve the quality of data over the period of time. I hope this demo provides value to you. And thank you for watching, and look forward to hear more from you.
Thanks, Maruthi, for that. We have one question about Data Quality Watch, and then we'll also fold in a question from the Snowflake Watch as well. Can we apply custom business data validation rules to Data Quality Watch? And
Yes, it's part of the product roadmap. We're currently testing that process. Yes, so basically, every business has their own data validation rules apart from the standard, like checking the uniqueness, empty value. Data Quality Watch enables to configure the customers to configure their custom business validation rules and provide the output for that. Yeah.
Great. And how long does it take to install?
So Data Quality Watch is ready to use product. All it requires is a configurations to be done. So I would say, depending on where customers are with their Data Rocket implementation, a day to 3 days should be good enough to start setup and using it.
Great. Well, thank you for that. Are there any more questions? I don't see anything coming in. So thank you for those who could join us today. And thank you so much, Sarah and Maruthi, for preparing these demonstrations and sharing your knowledge on these great new Data Rocket features. And I really appreciated all the information. And I hope everyone who joined us appreciated it as well. And if you have any questions, you can contact Bruce at pastoraldata.com or send me an email with the link from the Zoom webinar, and I will be happy to help.